Hello, this is Jennifer Braden. I will be performing the story, The Man Who Married Himself, written by Charlie Fish. I found it on the website eastoftheweb.com, and I will put a link in the description below so you can go up and check it out yourself. I hope you enjoy. Why not? With these two little words from my good friend Reverend Zuniga, the course of my life had changed completely. He said them after a 2-hour conversation with Bishop Fleming, after a little proposal I put before Zuniga. You see, I wanted to marry myself. There's nothing in the Bible preventing it. You cannot marry your aunt, sister, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, or anything like that. But there's nothing in there about not marrying yourself. So, of course, he said, why not? Now, they were a lot easier to convince than my parents. My mother asked a lot of silly questions about, why can't you just live with yourself, and what will you wear to the wedding? My father, I fear, went a little insane. For years after the wedding, he would answer every question with, myself, and stare a lot at the walls. I regret that, but I feel it was for the best. My friends were supportive, but they also saw it as a giant joke. They got me amusing gifts, the volume of which became a little obscene at which, such as a ceiling on the mirror and silk gloves. Of course, the wedding itself was still beautiful, and I had the honeymoon at the penthouse suite in a Luxor hotel. It was a beautiful night. I had many reasons for getting married when I did, apart from tax benefits, of course, and trying to make the tax inspector understand that I was my own spouse was, needless to say, very difficult. But ever since I understood the concept of wedlock, I longed for a partner I could trust. I wanted to have someone with me always, to whom I could tell my deepest, darkest secrets and know that they wouldn't laugh at me. Unfortunately, getting boyfriends to see it that way was rather difficult. I fear I might have had some bad taste. It was then I realized the perfect partner probably was closer to home than I thought. Altogether, I think the marriage was a great success. I rarely argued with my spouse, and if I did, of course I would win. There was some media intrusion, of course, a lot of amusing articles, and quite a few offensive ones saying I was the most conceited woman in the world. I don't see myself as an egotist. I just happen to enjoy my own company. I was happy for a while. But then there was a twinge of motherhood, and though science has gone very far, it hasn't quite given you the ability to impregnate yourself. So I talked to Reverend Zuniga. He had 2 suggestions. I'd have to live apart from myself for a year, which would need major surgery. If my spouse had been treating me cruelly, or have been in prison for a year, not wanting to literally have to beat myself up or be in prison, I had no other choice but adultery. I just need to have sex with someone other than myself, and then I could be free from marriage. So I reluctantly took off my ring, bought with love, and started searching for a mate. My friends were cruel about it, just saying I had gotten bored with myself. What do they know? It took nearly a decade to find someone who hadn't seen any of the articles and who wouldn't think they were having some kind of weird threesome. But eventually it did happen, and I couldn't be happier. We've been married for a while now, and I can look down on our little son and smile, knowing that Next door is Bishop Fleming, who followed my lead and finally married his little dog. The end.